modern to evolve for our higher education system. Of course, the whole document, if you read 66-page document, thoroughly if you read line by line, word by word, I think we understand the spirit behind this particular document, NEP 2020, our National Education Policy. But when you look into the draft policy document, which is of 483 pages, our department made an attempt to print it and conduct across the state widely during 1920 period, huge debates and discourses, and to suggest some of the opinions from these all happenings and discourses and debates, we have sent MHRD all these things. So that is the prominence of this book. I would say it is not irrelevant. Even today you can read this text. It is available in the MHRD website, 483-page document, which covers in detail about every word that is given, sentence that is given in the 66-page document, which is the final document of the NEP 2020. This is the document. I think most of you must have read this document and have seen this document, which is only 66-page document, which speaks, as I told you, it's a treasure, I would call, all the insights from all our ancient times, which is loaded in this particular text of 66 pages. All of you know, part 1 speaks about the school education, which we are not going to touch. Second part speaks about the higher education, which covers about 10 dimensions under that. I would just place before you, because we may not have time to enter into all the details. Depending upon the time and permutations, I will go into the details. Otherwise, I just take a bird eye view on all these areas which speaks about the higher education. Then part 3 speaks about other key areas of focus. Part 4 making how it happens. So they have given us a direction as to how to make it implementable and what are the possibilities to implement. However, with my own understanding of this 30 years of teaching experience, I tried my level best to visualize a system for us, keeping at the back or background our own ancient models of Gurukul system. Before entering into the main discourse, let me share 1 or 2 anecdotes related to the significance of our own ancient times knowledge. Or I would share in this context, the Ministry of Education is hardly striving to get back and explicate the whole ancient knowledge systems that were prevalent and that were dormant, and we were not able to catch up with what has happened in the past. So that, I guess, as a cell which is initiated by the Ministry of Education, widely working, many institutions in the recent past, 14 institutions have got the cells, these are called Indian Knowledge System cells. They are day and night striving hard to explicate the whole Indian knowledge system, which was dormant, which is dormant, and wanted to enlighten people about the knowledge systems that were prevalent in the ancient times. So this whole churned knowledge is available and placed as a capsule system in this document of NEP 2020. That's how I look at this document. So many people who work, strived hard, including the chairman, Kastur Rangan, on this document. Day and night, I believe, last 4 or 5 years, they have been struggling to give a shape to this document. First draft, 19 November, placed in the public domain. Then it came to the focus, and the document was debated and discussed across the nation for about a year and so. And then this has been culminated with more than 1 lakh suggestions received across the nation, and many people outside also. Some NRIs must have reviewed and presented their suggestions for this. So based on that, this 66-page document has evolved as a policy document, NEP 2020. So with this backdrop and the areas I would just focus upon that. Before that, let me share how our knowledge system, people are talking that there is a drift and shift from teacher-centric curriculum to child-centric curriculum or student-centric curriculum. It is not the new thing. I will share this anecdote, you will understand how child-centric, how self-guided learning, how experiential learning was the backbone or fulcrum of our ancient Indian system of education. One day, a teacher asked the students to go around the forest and find out some useless plants. Then at the end of the duration that is given to the learners, all the learners came back and started sharing about their own experiences and shared some of the useless plants. There was one student who came without any plants in the hand. Then the teacher asked other children, students, to share why they are useless, why they are useful, whatever they have shared. And the person who came without any plants, he asked him, can you say what is the uselessness of these plants or usefulness of these plants? So this student could explain how they are useful. That means there is nothing useless in this world of, life of plants or plant life or animal life, whatever you say. Everything is useful, that we need to understand. So how much time they must have spent to understand this whole knowledge about the plants. So Ayurveda has evolved, the whole Shastra has evolved by the experiences of the people, students, with the guidance by the teachers. Collaboratively they try to explore, understand and keep in place the whole knowledge system that is there in our ancient knowledge systems. So this is what I wanted to share. One more live example, even today I believe, at Vijayawada some bridge is available. I don't remember the name, long time back I read it somewhere. I could not trace out those places where I read that text. The gurus, those days Guru Kula or Guru and Shishya, like us institutions, were not isolated from the society. They were not deviated from the social issues. They were very much within the context of society. That's how the system prevailed at that particular time. So these Guru Shishyas used to go around the community, find out the issues of concern, based on which they used to, really serve the society. So this Guru Shishya went and then made a bridge. This bridge is not like any other bridge, Vantana we say. It is not just like that, whatever normal bridge our all civil engineers build. But this is a very unique bridge which has so much of wavy structure. So when you understand, people try to understand, many Britishers try to understand what is the secret behind it. So they could see the current of water which is flowing, which is the highest current which is flown in that particular place I believe. So they could start with that bridge with a very basic principle behind it, the water currents they have observed, there the current, what is the speed with which the water is coming, accordingly they have made the bridge. Even till today, after thousands of years, that bridge is in place, not like our bridge which collapsed overnight. So this is how the technologies grows. You have seen recent past, Ramappa temple, sand technology, long time research is going on. Till today nobody could find out what is the technology behind it. So all our knowledge, which is a formula I would say, which is a technology I would say, all those verses you see, whether it is Vedic hymns or any of those hymns that are there in place in our ancient knowledge, whether you talk about the Ashtadasha Vidya, Chaturdasha Vidya, Dwadasha Vidya, whatever names you give, different ways it has been, focused all through the document and also in our ancient knowledge. So these all things will speak and try to tell us how that knowledge was really, made people to understand. And all these verses, every word is a technology. We need to understand that. People think these are the verses just to recite. The recitation also, there is a phonic, there is a way to recite. So all these things, if we give to our children in tomorrow's future education system, I believe we can restore back our ancient system of knowledge, where there is a technology, advanced technology, which we are yet to reach. Maybe our augmentative realities which we are talking about, virtual realities which we are talking about, all this is surpassed by them. If you just imagine and visualize the whole Mahabharata and other things, you understand there are augmentative realities created by Dr.K.Kamala and others. And there is internet available, everything available. People may just befool us and say, do not believe in us when we talk all these things. So the IITs are striving hard to discover the proofs and evidences and show to the world in a very logical fashion, in a very scientific way, how that education was given to our children. When you recite the Shabda, the sound, the power of that vibration has an impact on human life. Lot of research is going on, whether it is Gayatri Mantra or whatever it is, lot of research is going on, which is saying how powerful it is and how it will impact on you. So our vratas, pujas, people will really not believe. We are all mostly atheists today. In the name of science today, we do not believe in that kind of things. So you need to understand and discover what is that science and technology hidden inside of our Vedic texts and Vedic hymns and otherwise Indian system, knowledge systems. So this is the whole process which is going on at the ministry level right away, and the similar kind of efforts are behind this particular document of National Education Policy 2020. So I just go very quickly because already 5-10 minutes over my time. Before entering into this whole lot of it, just go on pushing down. The title which I have given to this presentation session is, just get back to the first slide. Yeah, this is NEP 2020 Multidisciplinary Holistic Education, Higher Education. Holistic Education, a suggestive, experiential, sustainable, futuristic model for higher education. This is only I am just visualizing it, and if you read every line in the higher education, all those 18 items which are there under higher education speak eloquently about what it should be. Everything they have given in a very encapsulated form. So we need to understand, one is multidisciplinary approach, the other one is cluster approach. I believe Osmania University and State Council of Higher Education is making a model. I believe some of you may be part of these 9 colleges which are trying out this cluster system. So they are going to have this experimentation in the near future, which is going to implement National Education Policy. That is the bill which is passed, or rather acceptance was given even in the assembly, I believe. So the Council of Higher Education is looking at the cluster model where the colleges, 9 colleges identified, which will be doing this in coming near future. But what is that we can do like Osmania University, which is a huge university with all multidisciplines available across, technology, you say science, you say social science, you say education, you say management, commerce. You have all the aspects, including Sanskrit Academy we have, all linguistic departments we have, everything we have, arts and fine arts we have. So all these things put together, you can have a realistic, multidisciplinary, playing the way we can really do this experimentation. So that is the major concern where they wanted to establish by 2035 by 2040, they want to see across India, all over the nation, we should have this kind of multidisciplinary institutional structures. You all know about the research-intensive universities, teaching-intensive universities, and certificate-giving colleges. That is the whole model. This is being taught by so many people in different platforms. You must be very much aware of this particular thing. So I would say Osmania University, most of the center universities may not exist. What is the structure happening now? May not be there. IITs will not be there. They wanted to bring in the 5 pillars. One amongst them, equity is there, equality is there. So there they wanted to take up that promise of 5 pillars and just give you those things. This is my visualization. How do I go back? How do I go back? Yeah, I got it. This is how I visualize. It's only internet taken. So we want to see a serene place. Our Shed Darshanas, one is the yoga system we have. So Shed Darshanas, yoga system should start the day where the healthy well-beings will be there. That would be the ultimate purpose of human life and purpose of education. To keep human being as human being, nurture human being as human being. So all our Shed Darshanas, amongst them yoga system, will give us a direction how to live as a well-being, healthy being and a spiritual being with a humanistic tendencies in us. So this is where the holistic education they are talking about. At length they discussed about this holistic education. I just gave the visualization from very common man point of view, all dimensions of human persona, which I missed out there is spiritual component, because our common masses, common man's point of view, spiritual doesn't fit into our educational realms, but it do fit. I just avoided it just to have a discourse and discussion with the audience. So the spiritual entity will be in the middle point where human being will evolve as a spiritual being ultimately. If you take insights even from the Western literature, whether you talk about what is that, the need hierarchy theory, whatever you look into it, or Carl Roser's theory, anybody's theory if you see, they ultimately end with a spiritual entity, whether West or East. Maybe West is more materialistic in nature, but some of them realized. So this is how we can think about what can we do through our system of education. So let me just skip this for a while and go very quickly to the vision of this particular document. This itself is enough for us to understand what is that India is visualizing for this NEP 2020. So it is looking a deep sense of respect towards, there are few things which we have to focus on, that the fundamental rights, duties, constitutional values, bonding with one's country, and a conscious awareness of one's role and responsibilities in a changing world. So they are not denying either the 21st century or science or technology or ancient knowledge system. If you see in the draft curriculum, they mention Indic-centered system of education. Indic word, they have used a word called Indic. Indic-centered system in the vision statement itself. And this is where you can see we are able to look into the constitutional spirit, at the same time global citizenship. In the second point they have mentioned about it, education system contributes to an equitable, vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. So this is what, when you talk about evolving a common structure of research intensive, teaching intensive or certificate issuing colleges, everywhere they wanted them to groom into autonomous, independent, self-guided institutional structures with equity and also quality. So this particular item speak about creating that vibrant knowledge system, not compromising, because lot of questions are there against the government about IITs, how they are spending lot of fund on IITs, and state universities are being deprived of funding, so the quality is suffering. So they have taken care of in the NEP 2020 the quality issue, access issue, and also equity and equality issues. So I would just focus on the pillars, you will understand. So the vibrant knowledge society, all of us know, Modi ji keeps very often about Vishwaguru. We were Vishwagurus earlier, we want to see India as a Vishwaguru in future. If we can really explore our Indian knowledge systems and show to the world the technology and science behind it. So that is where they wanted to look at equitable, vibrant knowledge society, because we want knowledge to become the resources, knowledge to become the power, knowledge to become the income for us, or economy for us, or sustainability for us. So this is the hidden agenda behind it. And they have also not compromised with the instilling skills, values, dispositions and support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development and living, global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. You can see sustainable development across this NEP 2020. They have been referring to the 4 sustainable goal, SDG goal 4, education. Every aspect, how it has to be achieved, because that goal is 2015 to 30 is the end goal of SDG goals. So they have given lot of targets for 2030, some targets up to 2035, some targets up to 2040. So this is how the whole NEP tried to address all the SDG goals, including SDG, more focused on SDG 4, education sustainable goal. So they have given in the vision statement itself, the sustainable development and living is the, the agenda or fulcrum of this particular point. Then I just wanted to focus what is that ancient India I have been talking about. Little bit glance at this thing. The past India, though we are talking, maybe thinking that we are thinking for the first time. No, that's the reason they said it is the Indic-centered. When you say Indic-centered, it was already there. When you see Takshila, Odankapuri, or whatever you see the olden, the higher education systems, knowledge systems which are there, they have depicted all these multidisciplinary and specialized sages had their own scientific laboratories working in their specialized area. That's what we have been doing in the name of laboratories today. So there were, social science laboratories. There is nothing like a distinction of the discipline background. It was only knowledge. If you see the branch of philosophy, episteme is knowledge. So everything is knowledge. Disciplines are made later, but knowledge is one. That's how they have seen seen the holistic, multidisciplinary universities they have established, just they worked on those disciplinary specialization. So Nalanda, Vikram and all 21st century, they used a word called well-rounded education or well-rounded individual for the holistic education. Then I have for you the Chaturdasa Vidya or Dwadasa Vidya. I'll just give you a focus in the next slide. Then they were talking about the liberal arts curriculum, knowledge of many arts, the fine arts, liberal arts. If you look at the 64 kalas, apart from 64 kalas, the draft book also mentioned about Lalita Vistara Sutra, 86 kalas, Yasodhara Jayamangala, 512 kalas, that is during the 13th century, and then Bharata Natya Sastra, which is 3000, CE back, and integrate humanities with arts and science, technology, engineering. They use STEM, STEAM also nowadays we are using STEM and STEAM. So they don't want to isolate. So first agenda of this multidisciplinary is not to have those silos and isolated systems of knowledge. So this holistic knowledge they wanted. Then professional fields, medical and engineering, 21st century skills, creativity, innovation, all those 21st century skills speak about innovation, critical thinking, problem solving, communication, all these are there. Then increased awareness, social and moral awareness. This is the basic idea, the morality principles where we can see all through our texts and documents and knowledge systems. Then engagement and enjoyment of learning. They used to be, self-guided learning, student-centered learning, and teacher collaborative learning. This is how the approach used to be there in the ancient system. So they want to reiterate and replace it with the existing colonial dominant system of our Indian education today. Then establishing the, all those departments you can have. We have, Usmania would be a model for this multidisciplinary. Including Usmania, there are so many central universities which are having like that. Some state universities across India are also having. Banaras Hindu University. I would just put before you, keeping aside all this discourse, our ancient models, not even ancient models, the modern time models are there. 1900 when Maharshi Rabindranath Tagore and Arvind Ghosh, even later part, Mahatma Gandhi's naive talim and basic education system, if you see, there are excellent live models were there with the Indic system of education, but we just denied them, never bothered to reiterate on that and take it back. So we were still going in a crazed manner even till today. Our parents don't compromise for the education. They are only going outside India to have a quality education. The situations are different. I am not going into that discourse and debate. Reasons are many. But why not we come back and create that kind of Indic system by inviting all our Indian scholars who are outside India. That is what is our Modiji's vision of Indian national education tomorrow or in the future to come. So there we can see the engagement and enjoyment of learning would happen when it is self-guided, student-centric or child-centric curriculum comes, where you will not be learning the knowledge like we are doing today, information-based, memory-based, examination per se based, degrees we are having. The PhD scholar cannot tell us what is that research methodology they have adopted for their PhD research. This is the order of the day where our knowledge is being transferred in the form of capsured information to our students. This education system we have to do away and then come back to this kind of self-learning mode and enjoying the learning and creating innovations, discovering new realities, and then going and attaching ourselves to the natural process of learning. So we can see the exemplary models in India. That's what I was telling you. Recent past 1986, before 1986, Rishi Valley, Jittu Krishnamurti, so-called anti-traditionalist people say and kind of things. So you can see all these models which were prevalent in India, but we denied it. We have taken the insights from John Dewey model, which is Chicago Laboratory School, but we never bothered the bhavans that were established by Rabindranath Tagore, which is very beautifully established, Golakpur School, and then Shantiniketan, then Vishwa Bharati University as established. So we have just denied all these models. What is this multidisciplinary we are talking today? It is in a way a replica of what Vishwaguru said about what is that Shantiniketan and then Vishwa Bharati, what he looked at. Vishwa Bharati, the word itself says Vishwa, he is looking at the global. He is is not looking at India. Kind of everything is there. Rural technology is there. Everything is there. You can see fine arts to science to arts to everything in a very natural way children used to learn in this institution. So this is, we can just take some insights. It's not that it is difficult to establish in this fashion what is visualized by National Education Policy 32. So like the pure applied sciences, social, everything we have now, but they are very much isolated and in silos they are working. That's why they said multidisciplinary approach to come, including teacher education. So these are all of key principles of our NEP 2020, respect for diversity, local context, all of us know. They have given the curriculum when you are designing the national curriculum with a local flavor. They said the curriculum when we are designing, it should have a local flavor. So my model visualizes in that way. I'll just share with you. Equity and inclusion. This is another big issue we have been debating right from Constitution onwards. We have been talking about equity and inclusion part. The Article 46, Article 15, Article 16, Article 29, Article 30 in our Constitution talk about all these things. How do we create this equality and protect all those socio-economically disadvantaged groups? They have also mentioned in the policy document SCDGs and also special zones. They have identified some of the zones where literacy rates are low and kind of things. So they were looking at the way you can address this issue.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. A warm welcome to today's chairperson, Dr. B. Krishnaya, sir. Sir, please come on to the dais. Sir is chairperson. I request our vice principal, Dr. Vasudha Ma'am Garu of GDCW begumpet to present the bouquet to sir. Sir is an assistant professor of Department of English, School of Humanities, University of Hyderabad, Gachibowli. Sir has various publications in categories such as he has authored 2 books, sir has edited 3 books, and sir has published 32 articles, and he has completed 1 project. Now, sir, I invite sir to chair the occasion. Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Please continue. Please continue, ma'am.
So, friends, these are some of the key issues. The emphasis on conceptual aspects, how, as I have already shared, how our education system is only knowledge-based system, information-based system, where we are not able to give conceptual kind of understanding for the children through our education system. So this is how the Ashtadasha Vidya, Chaturdasha Vidya addresses this. Once the child is having a holistic education and conceptualization, there is no need of such kind of crisis which is happening. I'll just take some of the slides where what are the queries or what are the issues, what are the concerns of our NEP 2020, what are the solutions they have suggested. It's not that they left for us to think for a while, but they have given us the queries or issues of concern. They have also given us the way out to that in the last part of it also, and also in between at every point they have been discussed. So we'll quickly go into those things. Then community participation, how community participation happened. I told the bridge case in the beginning of the session when I started, how Vijayawada bridge was built by the teachers and students. That shows the teachers used to go around the village, community, find out the issues of concern. They used to find solutions and fix the solutions to the problems in the society. The financial support used to happen from princely or whatever community contributions used to happen. So that was the idea of community participation. Today, the kind of community outreach activities what we do, only photo session community reach activities we are doing. Nothing happens really. We adopt a village, we never see the evolution of the village. Now we never see the village has been transformed or reformed or whatever. So this is where the spirit has to go. When we are talking about the community and access to the participation of the community or transformation of the community, when you adopt a village, do you see any change in the village? Do you see any transformation in the village after 2 years, 5 years? So this is the idea and spirit behind community participation here in this, all the encouragement and facilitation. Philanthropists are there. So many people are working, but everything is happening in isolation. But when it becomes institutionalized structures, then I think it will become more meaningful like in the ancient system. Then technology we have not compromised everything. As I told you already, for Divyangs, you have assistive technology, so much of technology has developed today. You know about 21st century technology and technology tools in teaching, learning process. So much is there, the whole, Bandar is there, the Swayam portal is trying, and NPTEL is trying, Swayam Prabha is trying to really create a lot of repositories of knowledge for our young minds to study and get the quality, inputs for the education system, right from schooling to that of e-Pathashala, PG e-Pathashala. These are all happening in technology already by the Ministry of Education under Swayam and Swayam Prabha. So this, I think, will take more lead in future to come. More technological, inputs and repositories will be available for all our young minds tomorrow. So our job is to create such kind of repositories and throw out to them so that they will get benefit out of whatever knowledge we want to give them. Then the critical thinking, these are all 21st century skills, problem solving, critical thinking, innovation and communication, all those things are there. Then continuous review based and sustained research. This is another very big gap we have in India. Research is very weak in all of our higher education learning centers or universities, whatever you say. Per se today, if you see only paid publications, volumes of publications are happening. Copy from the internet, published, black and white is happening. So please look into these publications. Don't undermine the publication. It's very, very important. Research-based publications we need to do, not copy-paste kind of publications. So please, I think in this conference, if you just edit, you will find 80% of them will be copy-paste kind of things. They want a certificate, they want a king in their profile. Nobody really wanted to do a serious research. So they wanted a serious researching should happen through this policy. These are our 5 pillars. They were very serious about creating access. They said every district, if possible, every district, even earlier, in the knowledge commission, John Petroda, Knowledge Commission has suggested every district should have one university. So our sister universities have evolved without much of infrastructure and no recruitment, no quality education. Only access was created under San Petroda's knowledge, contribution to the district universities. So they wanted to create access in this, especially SCD zones they are talking, socio-economically disadvantaged groups. Wherever it is more focus is there, the zones will be identified and every district possibly will have one university system or at least one degree college where higher education access will be made available to all our young students of future. So now you see, some of the villages don't even have a secondary school. So in my idea, this one district, when you have one higher education institution, access is created to them so that we can achieve the target. In 2018, we have 26.3 gross enrollment ratio. They want to see by 2035 to achieve 50% gross enrollment ratio. Just imagine, is it possible without creating access? They have given online, blended mode, face-to-face, all possible ways of providing access. Even MOOCs is trying, maybe structured courses are also coming up on MOOCs and Swayam portal. Probably we will provide access for the higher education in various modes where students can get the enrollment ratio can be enhanced to 50%, probably by 2035, even before or after that. Then we are talking about the equity part of it. This also they have taken care. SDGs they talked about, and all other inclusion, equity, these are the issues. A special item was provided under higher education. Inclusion, both in the school education as well as in the higher education, they talked at length about how to create this inclusion in this particular document. Then when you are talking about the access, affordability is also another very important thing. Many of our who are Indian students in the villages, they are unable to afford to have this higher education. So they have given a lot of provisions in this policy document to create, identify such kind of students and provide a lot of access to them and also provide some kind of reshifts to them. All those things are there. Then accountability part is more important thing, is the accountability where I think everybody, including the students and teachers, faculty, everybody should have this accountability. Every citizen of India will start with accountability. I think the dream of NEP 2020, by 2040 we will be able to achieve to some extent. Then equality, ultimately they are addressing this settle in is quality issue. All of us know how quality was suffering in the educational system, especially if you look at the past glory of Osmania University. 50 years back, what was Osmania? 20 years back, what was Osmania? Conclude? Okay. Right. See, I will just go to my model and then start it. Because these are the 18 issues which were taught at length in this policy document. You can read them all. So everywhere they were talking about, see, I want to just give the gist and spirit of it because you can read, all of you can read and understand. So major focus is laid on the quality universities and everywhere they are talking. This is the one of the fulcrum or the pillars of the NEP 2020. So the quality is the main focal point as well as quantity because they are saying about gross enrollment ratio to raise to 50%. So quantity also matters, at the same time not to compromise with the quality. So these are some of the issues. Very quickly, I'll just go back to the model and wind it up. I could not give you any of those points. These are the humanistic ethical aspects. These are some of the reflective books you can look into them. They are old books, but you can see the whole ancient education system you will understand. Where they talked about this 1 to 4 Vedic Shadangas and then Dharma, Shastras and all those things. This is mentioned very clearly in the document. And this is the model I was looking at. A district as a unit if we take and then start forming. I could not structure it out, time was not there. So when you are looking at this district as a unit for you, around the district, the students have to go for the mapping, the whole district mapping they have to do, both human resources and other resources, find out, make a survey and find out what are the issues of concern. I think this kind of education if we start, we don't need to have a lecture. By exploration, by self-learning, they start exploring their own disciplinary knowledge, the major subject or minor subject, whatever they opt for. According to that subject or based on that area of knowledge, they will be exploring, doing research, finding out the solutions to the problems of the village or district. So like that if we involve the natives of that particular place, ask them to explore, find out the problems and then think of the solutions for the problems. When we talk about 21st century skills, problem solving ability, innovation and creativity, where do you fix? So this is the procedure where they will go out and experience, find out the solutions and then fix the solutions to the problem. So all the things are given, everything. What should be the pedagogy, what should be the curriculum, what should be the involvement, what kind of environment should be created for them so that they become self-sustained individuals as entrepreneurs of tomorrow who will make India and they will do make India as possible and create India as a Vishwaguru. That is my dream and I agree or rather go with Modiji's dream. We all will try together and create a sustainable India with entrepreneurs and create everything in India through to the globe as Vishwagurus, India as Vishwagurus. Thank you very much.